A sedge pattern, or a moth type pattern, or what we'd call it is like a hoolet or a moth. Anything, something that comes on late evening that you see like flying about the sides and making a mark on the water, and the fish just go crazy for these, especially in the lochs. I mean, they do exactly the same in the river as well, but this is an old style fly. You love the dressing. Thread I'm going to be using is a uni and rusty brown. Any brown type colour would do. The hook I'm using is a standard dry fly, size 10. Just running down the shank, put down a layer of thread until I'm in line with the barb of the hook. Break away or cut away the waste piece. Now the body is going to be, well, there's going to be like 2 ribs. The main part of the body is going to be a wool, just a nice light coloured wool. This one's a polyester fibre through it, as you might just see the wee kind of shine off it. That's what you're looking for. Dries really well. And then 2 of the ribs are going to be like I've used a dyed ginger, and this is Ostrich Herl. Protecting that you need a wire, and I've got a fine gold wire here. I'm putting this on first because this is the last thing to come up the body. Then next on would be your Ostrich Herl. You're looking probably a couple of strands. Try obviously get them the same length. Snip them off. Then we tie these in close to the points, but not exactly at the points because it's maybe too weak up here. Trim it about there, say, and offer it onto the side. Just a turn to hold at this point. Then get your wool. There's a couple of strands of this, so just to thicken it up again, the length of your body. Now the length of your body is like 2/3 the shank of the hook. So at this point I'm going to tighten up here. I'm just going to secure in all these materials. Just run it all the way up. Now the first to go up would be your wool. Now I'm going to bring this the opposite way I actually wind. Just bring it the opposite way. I'm going to use the wire to protect this. Now I get to this point here, I come across the thread, come across the wool with the thread, and then do a turn to hold, and then a turn to lock that in, and again do the same. Do it 3, maybe 4 times, and trim away the excess. And the Ostrich Herl, I'm going to bring the opposite way again. Just bring it up, just ribbon the body, and across the thread, much the same way as you tied the wool in. Doesn't need much to hold that. And then trim it away. Now then I'm going to bring the wire up. Now at this point, all I'm going to do is bring the wire up about 2/3 the body and then stop. Stop it at that point there. Now what you can do is put, say, a second set of hackle pliers and just put them on to hold, to keep the tension. You don't need a lot of tension, but just to hold it. Now the wing, what the wing is, this is a Chinese hen patch. Just small hen feathers from the saddle, in this case. Very dense type fibre. Ideal for wings and even for hackles itself. Now what you do is remove 2. Need 1 for each side. Now there you are with all the fluff removed. And the stems are still there. I'm going to use the stems as you'll see. Now what I like to do is bring these together, form like a wing. Just lay one on top of the other. Now the lengthwise you're looking to have at least the full length of the body, but when you tie this in, you want at least, say, the body length, or just under the body length over the back. Now the first thing I do is get the measurement I like, there it's there, hold the ends of the feathers and remove the underside. Just remove it like that. And then come round and offer them on the side. Make sure they're the same length. And don't worry about, I want to catch in some of the fine fibres at the top. Just hold them on the side and then bring your thread round 2 or 3 turns. Now one of the fibres has come round, but don't worry, just bring it back round. Just keep it tight. Just be nice and tight, just see how it's going to go. You want these on the side. Look at the length that you've got. That looks okay to me. And at this point, carry on all the way down to get to the eye itself. Just bring the thread underneath. Now I'm going to leave these. These are good. These are your feelers. Now what you can do, cut them both the same length. Just trim them up here, like that. And then bring your thread back up. Now go back to your wire. Now the reason I leave the wire now is so that I could catch these hackles, and I want them on the side. And this is the best way to do it. I mean, you've got your wire there. Just open the fibres out to where you want it to tie in on both sides. Just bring the thread up and through these fibres. Now it's important that you keep these feathers on the side of the hook. Now at this point you can actually move them around. I'm happy with the way they're sitting, so I carry on. Just make a space for the wire. Then come up. Get to this point here, come across your thread, bend the wire, a 90-degree bend into the wire, and then tie it down. And break this off. Best to do that than cut it. Now just see how your wing's sitting. Now that looks okay for me. Now I've got a small, this is a small soft covert feather, which I'm going to use from it's the drake, or the mallard hen, sorry, which is the fine brown feathers that you're looking for. And all I'm going to do is offer it to the side, bend back the point. Now bring the point out and trim it away. Now you only need a turn of this. This is just to tidy up. I like this to tidy up at the back. You could leave this out if you want. Want it nice and soft. Now there's about a turn and a half, which is plenty. Cross your thread. Tie it down. Now to help the fly float, there's a couple of things you could do. You could use a muddler head. Quite a few things you could use, but I'm just going to use a normal hackle. Now this is a Met's grade 2 saddle hackle. It's a cock hackle. Now I'm going to tie it with the underside facing myself and wind down. Trim away the excess in the stem. Just carry on the way down. Just ignore these just now, you don't need them, just ignore them. Then wind your hackle right down towards the eye. Just be careful at this point. Anything you want to go forward, you can draw it back. Do a turn in front. Now what I like to do is come back up. I mean it's really heavy, you want this really heavy. And bring your hackle back through. Now at this point, just any hackles you want to go forward, just draw them back with your fingers. Bring the hackle to the front and thread up. And then secure it in. Now I'm going to fold this back. Anything going forward, just bring it back with the thread. And then forget everything just now and get straight in and whip finish. Now the softness of the hen hackles, they do make a bit of a noise when being cast, even when they're being pulled. Cause a lot of disturbance. But by tying it on that way, if you look, it sits at the back like that. And if you look underneath, it's very sedge, moth-like. And that's what you're looking for. Basically that's like, it's an old style, but works extremely well. Great fun to tie. All you have to do is come in with a wee drop of varnish, just around about underneath, just be careful. And that should be plenty.